There we go. So welcome to membership recruiting, and we're hoping we're going to make our club stronger. That's my contact information, my email, lenday@a12lions.org, and my cell number is 705-715-7773. So thank you for joining us tonight. So our session objective is to develop a membership recruitment plan. And why would we think that would be important for us to have a plan? Beth.
You're muted, Beth.
I haven't said anything yet. Well, I think the best laid plans, at least you've got something to head towards, I think. I think if you have sort of a pathway and you know what you want to do, you're more likely to get to your goals.
Great, thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I knew you'd be able to handle that. So the definition. So when we're out recruiting members, we want to have we don't want to go after a bunch of we don't want large numbers. Well, we would love to have large numbers, but we want to have quality members, not quantity, right? So if we have 3 new great members, it's better than having 10 members that aren't really interested. So here we are. This is the definition of quality. The standard of something is measured against other things of similar kind, degree of excellence of something. And every one of you that are on this call tonight are excellent and quality members of our organization. So thank you. Now, I've put together 5 characteristics of a quality member. And they are positive attitude, strong communicator, trust their intuition, self-control, and flexibility. That doesn't mean you have to be able to put your leg behind your head. That would be good for maybe a fundraiser or something, but just enable to change if things aren't going well. Now let's do a little bit of brainstorming here and come up with some ideas. So let's maybe get everyone to give us an idea of what you think a good quality member would be.
Someone that wants to improve their community.
Okay, community-minded.
I'd say commitment. I think we've got people that join, and if they're not committed to putting in the effort, they're the ones that you never see. So commitment, I think, is a big one for us right now.
Okay, great. Those are 2 good ones. Anyone else?
Team player.
Team player.
I like the idea of somebody being open-minded, listening to others and taking their ideas.
Open.
I think, Len, I think it's important to note too that we want new members to come in with new ideas. Gone are the days where a member would join a Lions Club and just sit in the back corner and just watch what the goings on of a club until they kind of learned the ropes, and they felt they were kind of like a fly on the wall for a couple of years until the powers that be granted them the authority to actually voice their opinion. We want them to hit the ground running. We want them to come in, and if they're passionate about something, or if they got some new ideas, we want to hear them. Because why would you join a club just to be put in the back corner to learn the ropes? You want to hit the ground running, and you want to start helping your community.
So passionate and motivated, or?
Yep.
I think because our motives we serve, I think you want to look at people also that are interested in community service. There are people that are already doing community work in their own jobs, fire, police, EMS, teachers, that kind of stuff. oftentimes they care about their community as well.
Okay, so service-minded. Okay, anybody else? So that's 11. So we'll go through those. So positive people with positive attitude, strong communicators. They trust their intuition, and they're trustworthy. They're self-controlled, so they're not going to fly off the handle. They don't get their own way. They're flexible. They're community-minded. They're committed to their making things better. They're team players. They're open-minded. They're passionate, motivated, and service-minded. So does that seem like people that we'd want to be lions?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it is.
Mhm.
Okay. That's good. So I'll give you a minute if you want to write those down. If not, we'll.
I wrote them already.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you. So now we're going to get into identifying possible members, because you know what? There's all kinds of people that we can ask to become lions. And this is a recruitment wheel, and it's part of some of the literature that's available, and it's in the Just Ask booklet. You know, it talks about community leaders and relatives and colleagues and friends and local professionals and people we do business with and neighbors and people that we may know from other community organizations. So the list just goes on and on. So it's really, you know, quite easy to put together a list of potential people that we'd like to ask to join Lions. And here there's the Lions Club resources. There's the Just Ask, the new member recruitment guide for clubs. And these are all available on the LCI webpage. And so if you want, just to remember that you can go to the Lions webpage, and if you don't want to write all this down, you can put in Global Membership Toolbox. And there's all kinds of resources in that toolbox for membership. Okay, it talks about new club development, it talks about recruiting new members, it talks about retaining members, and it's just a good source of information for us as Lions to use. And this is what part of our dues goes towards developing these training manuals and these manuals that help us to be successful. And then the young adult recruitment guide. Now these continue to change. The covers may not be exactly the same because they are always continually updating these, but these are the locations that we can use this material from. So like we said, we have to come up with a plan. So we have to set SMART goals. Right? Everyone's talked about setting goals, but you know what? If we aren't specific, we don't have something to measure the goal by, it's not attainable and it's not relevant and timely, then it's just kind of a wish list. So let's remember when we start looking at putting together our goals that we use the SMART goals, and I'm sure everyone's seen this and used these and are familiar with this. So let's start. How do we go about getting new members? Well, we have to prepare ourselves. So we have to think about what are our goals? Why add members? So what would be, Denise, your goal for this? Just one. How many?
Why would I add a new member?
Or why? What would you think a good goal would be for you? How many members to add in a year, personally?
Personally, myself, I would like to see 2 new members.
2 new members. Okay, perfect. And someone else, why would we want to add members? Why is it important to add new members to our club?
More members, more service.
Exactly. More members, more service. That's the biggest thing. The more people we have, the more members we have, the bigger impact our service can be, the more people we can help. And then we can get more ideas for more service and take on different projects that we may not have had. Okay. And who should it be our target? Who would we think about asking?
That's where that recruitment wheel comes back into play.
That is, yes.
And you combine that with what we just talked about as far as quality members, and the combination of the two would help us figure out our target.
Thank you, Ruth. That's a great. And then, okay, then who will we recruit? I guess we put that list together. We've got our target. So we've got a group of members, and then we form a list, and then we start talking to those people to recruit. And you know what? Some of them are going to say, yes, I'm interested. Some are going to say no. And we have those, we have like the hard no's, we have a soft no, we have maybes, and we have, yes, I'm definitely interested. Number one, we go after those definitely I'm interested. Yes, the soft maybes, they'd be a person to follow up with. And then, you know what, as long as they haven't said no, and even no, not at this time, that's not really a no. That's contact me in 6 months. So, okay. So how do we ask someone? We have to tell our story. We have to be able to, explain why we are Lions, right? The elevator speech. I like to start off with something like, hi, I'm a member of Lions Clubs International. We have 5 global causes: vision, diabetes, childhood cancer, the environment, and feeding the hunger. Are those something that might interest you? You know what? And then if whatever that person replies to, then I can talk a bit about what we do in that field. You know what? And if they say, well, is there other things that we can do? Then exactly, yes. We support kids' sports teams. We do youth exchange, and then we can use our own personal experiences to draw those people in. So we're going to take a little bit. I'm going to go back and stop sharing for a minute so we can see who's here. And we're going to ask somebody to give us their elevator speech. Who would like to? Barb, how would you feel about doing an elevator speech right now?
I always talk to the elevator gets to where it's going. But
Before, so we only have like 35, 40 seconds.
okay, here we go. Hi, my name is Barb, and I'm a member of the Lions Club organization. It's a service organization where we give back to the community. Our 5 areas of interest are blah, 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 blah. Does any of that appeal to you? And would you like more information? And here's my contact information.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, Barb. Monica, how about you? You're fairly new to Lions, and you've been out and you've recruited some people, so I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say.
Well, first, I would, before I do, or maybe if you don't mind, maybe I don't want to do an elevator speech, but I would just like to tell you how we've gotten our new members. The 2 people that we have recruited recently have both been contacts for us in trying to figure out how to do something that we wanted to do with our lotteries, for example, or, well, one of them is someone who helped us with the lottery, and she just liked the sound of what we were doing. And the other one is someone who we contacted to help us gather names of seniors in the community who are lonely and need assistance. One of the things that our club does is that we make little gift bags once a month and deliver them to lonely seniors. And we wanted to find more seniors in Wabashine. We are branched out, like we're part of Wabashine as well. We wanted to find more seniors. So we contacted this woman in our community, and she started asking questions, and she was very excited because she's been a Lion in the past, and she gave it up a few years ago in the club that she was in. She said it didn't really suit her, but she's very excited about being part of our club. So from my perspective, the way that I think that I will be recruiting people is more to tell them about what we're doing in our community, not so much what Lions, I don't know if it's wrong to do this, but not so much what the Lions are doing in general around the world, but what we are doing as a group in our community, because that's what excites me. And that excitement comes through when I talk to people.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You should be talking about what you're doing in your community. So that's the same thing. When I'm like next week, we're doing our food drive. So when people come up and say, so what do you guys do? I said, well, I'll come up with this. We do community food drives. We help feed close to 200 people once a month through the winter time at the shelters in Barrie. We do clothing drives. We sponsor some high school events with some bursaries. Are those things that are interesting to you? And then I'll let them lead back with what they want to speak to, and somehow tie their interests into what the club's doing, because, right, every person's going to have a different draw on why they want to be part of the club, right? So if we can offer that potential member something that interests them, then that's good, that we can then draw them more in, keep them interested, and work towards getting them to become a member.
Monica,
Yep.
Monica, it's amazing what you've done. I mean, here you've been a Lion for just over a year, and you've already got, I think you're going to be sponsoring 2 Lions. There's some 20-year Lions that probably haven't even sponsored 1 new Lion. So what you've done is amazing, and that's great. And you do what works for you. The reason we call it an elevator, let me just paint a scenario for you. You're at the local shopping center and you're in line, and you're social distancing, and the person in front of you isn't 6 feet in front, and they turn back, maybe they drop something on the floor, and maybe you back up or your gesture, and they see your Lions pin. I don't have my Lions pin on right now, bad on me, but they see, oh, are you a Lion? And there's your cue, and you got 30 seconds. First impressions are everything, right? So that's why we do an elevator speech, because somebody will notice your Lions pin. That's why we ask you to wear it all the time when you're in public. And you got 30 seconds, 40 seconds, because that's, a very passing acquaintance. Elevator speech isn't maybe the right term, but it's just the shortness of time. So, and that's why we do these. And we don't do it enough. We should actually practice it in every club, just as a fun thing, because when you get out in the community, that's your chance, to ask people, to invite them into Lionism. So something we should all practice.
Oh, Monica, you're doing exactly what, you're telling your story. You're telling the people what's happening with your club and your community. So, and
I generally can't keep it at 40 seconds. I'm a talker, and I tend to talk a lot, but I get excited about it too. And I find that other people are getting excited when I get excited about it. Like they seem to pick up on the service aspect, like the fact that we're making a difference in the lives of these seniors or the lives of children. And they get excited about that because I get all excited about it. And usually I'm talking more than 40 seconds, I can tell you.
But that's fine, because you know what?
Beth knows.
She's awesome.
And that's good. Passionate people, they speak from their heart, and that's what really attracts our members. So we're going to go back to the presentation now. All right. my screen. Okay, so now we're going to create our plan. We're going to set some SMART goals. Okay, we're looking at a list of people to recruit. We're going to put together some locations and times and what we're going to do. So where we're going to go, when we're going to do it, materials needed, perhaps like a club handout, some information about our own club, a pamphlet, a flyer. Okay, we're going to get some kind of promotional stuff that we have available. We're going to plan maybe a meeting for them to come to where we're not going to discuss business, but maybe planning an event or even like a fundraiser or service project. It's always great to have someone out seeing us do some good work and have fun. Then we're going to follow up, and then we're going to follow up again. Right? Now we're going to implement our plan. We're going to reach out to our targets. We're going to make sure that the person is going to be a good fit for our club. Maybe they'd be better off at one of our neighboring clubs. Or maybe they're not really interested in what Lions are after we talk to them. We're going to ask if they know what we do as Lions, right? And maybe explain a little bit about what we're doing. Every club does different things, so know what's going on in your club, know what some of the stuff that our district does, know some of the things that Lions Clubs International does. Invite them to a function. It's always great to have them come out to one of our one of our fun events, one of our service projects where we're going to make a big impact. Like if we're doing a food drive and we're getting a whole bunch of food out, or we're planting some trees, they see that, what these Lions, they go out, they do stuff and they make a difference. So those are impactful things for having people come out and see us in our action. And we're going to continue to be positive. We always want to be positive. We want to talk positive. We want to be impressive, and we want to say that we as Lions can do so much when we work together. And then when we're talking to that person, limit to 3 to 5 minutes. We don't want to oversell, and we want to, let them ask, and if they want to push it longer, because everyone's time is valuable and important. Okay, so now we're gonna.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm a little bit well, okay, I don't know how to put my question. I'm just going to tell you what happened. I was identified myself as a Lion. I guess I was wearing my pin or something when I was in the liquor store in Midland one day, and the cashier told me that she wanted to be a Lion, that she tried to join one of the clubs, and the club told her that since she was a single woman, that they only like couples in their club. What? So I'm concerned about that whole identifying the right fit. If somebody wants to be a member, you really shouldn't be turning them away.
No,
but they may be, like, say we have some specialty clubs and they're passionate about, so somebody's talking to them, and like here in Barrie, we've got 2 Lions clubs, right? We've got 2 Lions clubs in Barrie, plus we've got the Springwater Vesper Club, which is just in Midhurst, and we've got, so each of our clubs do different things. So sometimes someone may fit better in my club than they would in the Lions Club of Barrie, or they may fit better in the Lions Club of Barrie than they would in our club because of the types of activities that those clubs. So we've had people come and visit, like my club, the Barrie Lions Club, Midhurst Lions, you know, Thornton, Angus, because we're so close to everything, to see if they're the dynamics of which club would suit them better, right? So, especially being, I guess, when I was a district membership chairperson, we'd get people that would cold call, or they'd send an email to Lions International. I live in Barrie and I'd like to be a Lion, you know, but perhaps our meetings on Mondays isn't a good fit for them, or Tuesdays for the Barrie Club, or things like that. So when I'm saying what it fits for them, right? Like we've got couples, we've got single men, single women, we've got older people, young people.
Right.
So our club's pretty dynamic. And I don't know, that's kind of weird that a club would say something like that. But then again, we still have the odd club that's a male only club still. And you know what? I thank gosh we have some very
Really?
strong women in our club that, you know, could organize a lot better than some of us guys. And I'm sure that some of these archaic clubs that still are only male dominant or male run clubs are losing out on some very great potential lions and leaders. But anyways.
Did you get her name, Monica?
I did actually.
Monica, I was going to ask, you didn't know how to put a question or a comment. Is your question possibly, what should you have done in that situation? If that is the question, I would have been obviously stating that club was not a good fit for you. Why don't you come have a visit with our club and see if it fits well with your interest?
You could invite her to a meeting.
Yeah.
Those are good answers. I did mention to her where we were located, and it was too far for her from,
Okay.
I mean, she was working in Midland, and like we're in Port Severn. Whenever we can meet again, we'll be meeting in Port Severn, right?
But there's
so
all
that's
kinds of clubs around, like there's Victoria
did you-
Harbor, Port McNichol, Tiny, you know, there's lots of clubs.
Penetang Machine Line,
Club.
Randy, love to have
Yeah.
some members.
Penetang, yeah.
I understand. I think she was really put off by the fact that they told her that they only like couples in their club. Like that was a terrible answer.
Yeah.
If somebody would come to us and say they wanted to be a Lion, there's no way that I would say to them, well, you're a single woman, we don't want you. Like, how, that's a horrible thing to say.
Absolutely. That's not a way to help build our organization.
I guess like the whole good fit thing, I understand what you're saying about the good fit, but I really feel strongly that if somebody wants to join, if they decide that they come and they say, I would really like to be part of your club, I'm hoping that we don't say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say, because
Yeah,
I
so
was really appalled. Like
when I was talking
thrown
about the good
off.
fit, I was talking about like meeting nights, and you know, whether some clubs
Totally
are
get
more
that.
into writing
Okay.
checks and others are on hands-on service. So, you know, it all depends on what the person's kind of looking for their
Okay.
service model, right? Not that
Yeah.
they're, you know,
Yeah.
In Lions
couples
Club,
or old guys or females or young kids, right? So
and Lions clubs have recognized that they've had a tendency to have that kind of attitude where they wanted, you know, a certain dynamic or a certain demographic in their club. And that's why the last 3 or 4 years, diversity has become a big word in new membership vocabulary. We want our clubs to be diverse, not all couples, as you say. We want all denominations, all, you know, all genders. We want everything. We want to be as,
Okay.
we want to be synonymous with the community that we serve.
yeah, like Jamie's saying, our members should reflect the community we live in. So, right.
Okay. I just
Monica?
wanted to.
Sorry, Monica, I'm just hoping that whoever spoke to that lady, that they are not speaking on behalf of the whole club. I'm hoping that it was just an individual expressing their own view and not the club's view.
Well, I got the impression from the lady that this was the club's view, that this person told her that there's a group of, it's a large group and we're all husband and wives together. So the fact that you don't have a husband was a problem. Like, I was totally appalled. Like, I couldn't even fathom that somebody would say that to her. And of course, she was totally thrown off and she was not interested in looking any further when she was
Too
told
bad.
that. Like, that's a
Yeah.
bad attitude and a bad impression to give about Lions Club, that we would be so elitist that we would only go for couples, because she was a divorced woman, you know?
Was it a swingers club or a Lions club?
Well, it was one of those clubs that you guys mentioned just now. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, just because I know the areas up there, every club that's in that region, in the zone. Well, I know every club in the district, so it's just.
I'm not gonna say it because it, you know,
No.
I don't know it firsthand. I only know it from this lady, but she was
Yeah, no.
really sad. She was very sad.
And it may
Maybe,
have been, it may have happened some time ago too, where
Yeah, it was about 4
hopefully
years
we're
ago.
maybe everybody's more enlightened now. I
Well, that's
would
good.
hope. Yeah, I would hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And I
Okay.
agree. I agree with Ruth. It's probably one individual. I'm sure it's not the attitude of a club.
I
Because
hope so
we,
too.
you know, we would be aware of that if that was the
Mhm.
case. I'm sure as an individual. So,
Okay,
Okay, so let's take
thank you.
about 10 minutes now to work on each of your plans. So let's think about what we talked about. So what will my goals be? How many people I'd like to get, and when we're going to get them done by. So let's use our SMART goals and let's build a plan for each of you for doing some membership recruitment. Okay, so let's be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Okay. And you can just write this down, and then and don't be afraid to ask questions of that. It's open. We can share some ideas, and we can, and maybe 5 minutes, and then we can review each of our plans. Does that seem fair?
Is there a chance that they will not be charging the LCI fee for new members past July 1st, or?
it's been way to the end of the year.
Oh, the end
It'll-
of this year?
Just to July 1st right now, the end of the Lions year.
Yeah.
And then we'll start to see what the new board of directors has to do, or what because they are talking about a $2 dues increase starting in 2022, right? But that has to be passed at the convention in July.
That's $2 a year or a month?
A year.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's probably been 20 years since we've had a dues increase in the Lions Club's international fee. Would that be about right?
I thought we just had an increase a couple of years ago, went up $2.
5 years?
2 years, 2 or 3 years ago, went from $41.50 to $43.50.
I think Jamie, I agree with Jamie. I think it was only about 2 years ago.
Okay.
It'll be 3 years this July, I believe.
Anyways, moving forward.
Okay, so let's, I've already put together mine, so I can, we'll wait and give you guys a couple minutes and. Mike dumped us.
Okay, I can tell you he's in the room, but he's
What?
hiding off camera. So you can still call on him, Len.
Okay, I will.
I gotta mute him first.
Okay, everything okay? Just give me a thumbs up when you're done or when you wanna, if you've had enough time. Hey, Randy, Ruth. It's a lot easier when you can walk around and see how people are doing. Monica, you're good?
I think so.
Okay, great. Barb?
Yeah.
Okay. Beth, you're close or you okay? Or, yeah. Mike? Denise? Okay. Okay, so who'd like to share what they've put together first? Jim?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, specific, SMART goals, basically, specifically asking your members to participate in membership exercise like this. It would fit with Monica's problem, I think, because if her whole club was aware that it was just a couples club, it would kind of be an issue, I would think, pretty quickly. The thing is, if you ask your members to participate in terms of with a specific purpose and goal, everybody in the club is online to do it. Basically, my idea would be to have a project, something like maybe Randy's ride for cancer on the bike or something, where you, with this day and age, it's kind of hard to do an elevator talk because we're not meeting people. We're basically staying away from people. But if you went online, as Randy did with his bike thing, if the whole club participated with that and send that invitation out to, you know, say to each member, send it out to 10 people that they know that they can invite to support the bike ride for Sick Children's Hospital. Get those members to send it out to 10 people and ask those 10 people to send it out to 10 people. It would be a great way to participate. Also creates that awareness of what Lions do in the community. It's measurable. If each did it, sent out 10 emails or sent out a notice on Facebook or something, or shared a Facebook notice about it. It's attainable because it's certainly possible for every member to pull together on a project like that. If every member of the club did it and send it out to people that they know, it's generally somebody you know that you're going to invite as a member. So if everybody in the club did that, the Devin Bacon theory, you only 10 people, 3 people removed. So let's get it out there. It's realistic because today people have more time to spend on their computer. And I've noticed that I'm having conversations with people, and next thing you know, I get a request for a donation pretty quick or to help out. So it works. I think it works quite well. And I'd set a timeline of, say, just a couple of weeks, ask your members in the club to do this over the next 2 weeks, to send this notice, relay this notice, or copy this request out to 10 people that you have in your contact database. Just get it out there and see what kind of response it gets back with your club, back to your website, your club's website, and your club's Facebook page for that matter. But just use the, we can use more internet now, but we can also get the whole club involved in it, not just one club member doing it. You know a lot of people.
Thanks, Jim. Denise, do you want to share something, or Michael maybe?
Well, Michael's being that shy, sweet man.
Well, he is shy. You know, he's very delicate, and you know, he's quiet, and you know,
It's been a tough afternoon.
he doesn't like to.
Mikey.
Barbie misses you. Come on. I was going to say something, but it was actually an idea that Mike had. Do you want to just let them know?
This was during the COVID. This is quite a few months ago, actually. Was it when I was here?
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the things I had asked, and I still have to follow up on, is just when, I think it was near the end when we see the better of Lionism, I said, can everybody please bring one name forward and like not just talk about what we can do, but actually next meeting have a name, and then we can try to move forward from there.
Mm-hmm. And we had also, just to reiterate on that, just to ask that member, each member, to bring them to a meeting. May not be too exciting on a Zoom meeting nowadays, but for those activities, many of us have activities happening in our communities, and invite one person in your area that you know has shown some interest and get them out to that activity or that event, just so they could see what you actually do. I myself have said this to our club, that it would be great, even if I did say earlier, 2 new members for myself, but even just 2 new members for our club together would be wonderful before the end of this term.
I think inviting non-Lions to a Lions event is a great idea, because that's why I'm here. I was invited to a dog walk, and I was at that time good friends with Les Stevens. And after a couple of dog walk meetings, they asked me to join a proper Lions meeting, and here we are, 4 years later.
Yeah. And I think, what was the next one? I stopped moving my computer. Relevant, reasonable. I don't know if that's timeline, but realistic. Having that person come out to an activity, or promoting that activity, and having that person maybe assist somehow in whatever way they can, whether it be advertising and inviting other family or friends that they know. And time, I think of cost as well. It doesn't really have to cost us a lot. We just need to have our, I want to say pins, but not everybody notices those pins like they did on Jamie, but they will notice the patch or the emblem or your banner that you have out, or your signs that you have out.
Okay. Thanks. Beth, what about you? You're muted.
There. So I think that realistically we can add 5 new members this calendar year. I think in the end it's going to keep us almost even to how many members we have now, because I think we're going to be losing probably around 5. But I think it's pretty realistic. We've got 2 new ones to date. We're newly active in the community, so we're generating a lot of activity-based things. Our bottle drive, we have probably at least 30 cars come through once a month, and Monica is great at greeting them as they come through, and she has a speech. Yes. So as we're unloading the empties, Monica's, you know, explaining to them what we do, and yeah, I think that's really helping. we're active on social media. We've got a good media person, so they get the word out as well. And we have new Baxter Ward Lions pins that we would love you guys to buy one when we can get together. But yeah, we should be wearing them. You mentioned that too, about the pins, and that's a good reminder too. So we can be wearing our pins and people see them. And another thing I thought of too, Len had said at one meeting where somebody had sort of said, not right now, and you know, you forget to ask them again. But I've got a couple of people in mind that they did say, you know, last year when we were heavily recruiting, they said, no, I don't think that's for me right now. Now is the time to go back again and say, well, you know, this is what we're doing, and you know, have you thought more about it? Because don't we look like we're having fun? Because we are, and we're doing some cool things, so that makes it easier. So I think that's all a smart goal. Yeah, and I was going to say this calendar year, but I kind of like the idea about making it before July 1st, when that extra charge might be.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
might as well save the club a little bit of money, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, good. That's it.
Beth, another good lead-in. You know, if you're asking people, you know, to join, and they say, you know, not right now, I'm interested, whatever. When you do your initial elevator speech, you may have, when you give a brief overview of what your club does, you may strike a chord or sense something in them that they have a passion for. And that's a good segue, that if you, in the eventuality you do a service project that was kind of right up their alley, you might want to call them and say, listen, we're doing a service project. Remember, you know, you like to get involved with childhood cancer. Well, we're doing something in a couple of weeks, and I don't know if you want to just join us to see what we're, you know, assuming COVID restrictions are gone, or maybe it's something online or what have you. It's kind of a good segue to get them involved.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I put together. So I want to sponsor a new member by year end. I'm going to create a list of possible members that I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask at least 5 people to join by May 1st. I'm going to follow up with those people that I've asked, and hopefully I close the deal. That was just my own personal goal for my own personal membership, right? So growth plan. So there, I thought I'd share that with you. So back to my screen. So we'll review our session objective was to develop a membership and recruitment plan. Do you think that we covered that? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we got some really good tools to use based on what we know about our community, and to put together the plan that we need to get more members.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, have you guys done up like a club brochure yet, or something like that? A bifold or a threefold?
No, we have a website though. Our website is updated.
I'm just thinking, like, when you're doing your bottle collections or stuff like that, you know, you could give something like this out to the people.
Yeah.
You know, fold it out, hand them that, and it's got, you know, some stuff about what Lions does. It's got, you know, some of the things that your own club does. It's got contact information on it. And I can send that copy of this out, and then you can just reformat it for your club if that would be something that you like.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
That would be a great idea.
Can I make a suggestion on that?
Sure.
We actually did that in Aurelia several years ago, but a couple years ago we thought we need to change it up. We need to have a section on the back, and I can't remember what we ended up taking out, where that person could put their name and their address or their phone number or email address, so we could reach out and contact them. Have that section there.
This one has it. Mhm.
And I think the template online didn't have that.
Yeah.
Up and did that, but somebody mentioned following up. I did have 3 people. I'm down to 2 who are still, I'll think about it, or I'm not ready yet. This has been going on for years. But it was, those 2 people help us out every year with the Santa Claus parade, different activities, always volunteering their time. And I'm like, okay, here's that membership application. And I always have an extra membership application, just the photocopy. I don't even have the color copy, because I think these 2 ladies, I've probably given them one about every 2 months. Here, in case you lost the first one I gave you. And it just keep following up, right? And eventually, one of the 3 finally said, okay, you've worn me down, hand me the paperwork. And they eventually, they just keep asking.
Suggestion, Dave. Suggestion, you know what, a simple certificate that can be made up of appreciation, and have these other 2 individuals, when COVID, you know, allows itself, maybe later this fall, invite them, maybe make a little presentation and say, make a fuss over them, say, we'd like to, and make a presentation and give them a certificate of appreciation. That they might find that more welcoming, and it might tip them over the edge, you know?
We actually invite them, those people, every year when we could, to our Christmas social as a thank you to those who have helped out that are non-Lions.
No, same thing, like Fox's Bakery helps us out with our monthly meal, right? They donate like 180 dinner rolls to us every month. So we make sure that we thank them on our Facebook page. And we're going to present them with a nice plaque for the store, and recognize the people that help you, and hopefully Steve Fox will become a Lion again. So it'll,
Denise, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yes, Monica, go ahead.
Is there any possibility that it's a financial consideration for your 2 ladies? Because I was talking to a gentleman in town the other day, was telling him about what we did, and he said that he and his wife were thinking of being Lions. And then he asked me what the annual dues were, and he said, oh, well, I guess it would only be one of us.
Well, you also can look at, I believe annual dues right now, they're under $100 for one person.
Not ours.
Yeah, ours are 125. They include insurance.
Okay. But then the spouse is not double. It is, Len, can you give the breakdown? I don't have the breakdown right now.
Yeah.
International, if you set them up as a family unit, the first member of the family pays the full $43, and then the second, third, fourth member in the household only have to pay half the international fee. So
yeah, so it's a little bit more $20 savings,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
But you know, our club, we break it down for if people want to pay monthly, so that it's like $20 a month or something. We can work that out.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So
our club has done the same. Yes, our club does the same.
Plan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's $10.50 a month. Ours works out too.
Yeah. So, you know, what's that? Two Starbucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we live in a very
Yeah, I know where you guys are. There's no Starbucks, yes, but yeah,
yeah, we're not in a Starbucks community. We just got a Tim Hortons for the very first time this year in Wabashine.
The Tim Hortons in Port Carling closed. I think it was the only one that's ever failed.
Oh,
You're kidding.
Actually,
great.
Monica, to answer your question, I said I had 3 that have been on that fence for years. The one that did finally sign up, she was a coworker of mine. We were on the same team. We weren't necessarily in the same office. And then it was just before she retired. It was actually, it was a service that our club was involved in with just a family that had reached out for assistance. And I came back to work and I was telling her about it. And I actually got emotional because of what we had been able to do.
Mhm.
She just loved that passion and she loved that
Yep.
to help that family. And
Yep.
she said, hey, I want to come out now and I want to sign up. So you just got to hit the right thing that is important to them and sparks their passion.
Yep.
She would have been the one out of those 3, if I said, okay, it's a financial concern, that one person would have been
Oh, really?
struggling not struggling, but would have had difficulty at the time, probably.
Okay. So
Okay.
I just put my contact information in the chat box there for you. So if you want to send me an email, I can send you that, or I can look you up on send out the membership flyer that I have. I can send that to you. I'll get that out to you before Tuesday of this week. Okay. So.
You can send it to me if you want, or I can give you her email address. If
Okay,
that's easier.
I can look everyone up that's there. So.
But
Anyone else want that membership folder flyer?
Yes, please. I'm gonna go because I have to go talk to my 2 new members.
Okay, all right.
Great to see
Okay,
everybody.
it's Barbie.
Like,
Okay,
see everyone later.
if there's any other questions, if not, I'll let you go because I know you've got your evening ahead of you, and I know that your time's very valuable, and thank you for attending tonight. Hopefully you can take some of this information away and use it, and we can grow our organization a little bit more. And remember, we want good quality members that are going to make a big service impact. We don't want to have just a lot of numbers on the books so that we're impressive. We want to be impressive. So thank you again. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for the service that you provide to your communities.
And
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you,
for the-
Len.
Cheers,
and
everybody.
For
Good
the
ideas.
session, Len.
Yeah,
And thank you for
Really great
presenting.
ideas. Thank you.
Thank you for presenting again tonight, Len. Appreciate your insight. This session has been recorded and we'll probably include it on our YouTube page. So if there's other Lions members or other clubs that want to partake in this or view this, it'll be available. Our next Lions Learning webinar is scheduled for Wednesday, March 31st, Service and Changing Times, with PDG Randy Hargrave and PDG Landay. So you should have hopefully got an email passed on by your club secretary today, because we completed a list of our Lions Learning webinar series right through to June. That includes president's training and club secretaries training. So if you haven't got that, you might want to send an email to your club secretary and ask them if they're going to be passing that on. So thank you again, Len, for continuing to support our district with your leadership and your presentation. And we look forward to all of you joining us for Randy in 10 days.
Great.
Don't forget to save this before we close out, Jamie, so we don't lose it.
It's saved to the cloud, so it'll, I'm going to stop recording.
Okay.